And
Mhm.
once I really settled on, and this just came recently, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like I had it all together all the time. So like I told Tamiko in the virtual green room, like I am my first student.
Build $1 million legacy with purpose.
Uh, because officially this is our first live event on YouTube. I am Dr. Marnita on fire, your host for Combos for Your Calling, under the umbrella of Build $1 Million Legacy with Purpose. And I am an achievement and performance coach. And I'm so excited to be here with my co-host. Girl, take it away.
What's going on, sister? My sister, my sister, my sister. We are live on YouTube. Okay,
All
now. Tamiko
right.
Day here in the co-pilot seat with my sister, Dr. Marnita. And who am I? Tamiko Ruby J, your spiritual coach and mentor. I'm whispering because there's a lot going on out here. And Reiki Master Teacher. And we are here today in season 3. It might be season 1 on YouTube, but we just trying to spread. No, excuse the word. We are spreading the wings. Did y'all see that catch? Huh? You either trying or you're not. You either doing it or you're not. We're doing it and we're being it. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Yep. And we
So
talking to you. Yes, you. Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah, so if you are like new to our conversations, put new in the comment section so we know who you are. And we're going to have an amazing conversation today. I am too excited about this conversation today. And Tamiko and I usually have like this pre-conversation in our virtual. You know, I love Tamiko
Green
because
room.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, virtual green room. I love her because she has all of this experience in the language of cinematography and videos and you know how to do the thing. And I'm just I'm a novice. I'm like feed me, Tamiko, feed me, baby.
But
So
it
I'm
works one and
excited.
the same because I'm used to being behind the scenes and behind stage or in the trenches behind the camera. And my sister is 100% all about the technology piece. So once we get that thing shot, she puts it together so it could come live or it could come recorded. So it's just a really cool tag team we got going on here. We got the WWF of wellness, entertainment, and all of that, right? But we
Love it.
have to get our hands dirty. Oh,
I love it. So today's conversation, we're again in season 3. And if you missed the first 2 seasons, which were really amazing, I believe each season has about 9 episodes. The first season was all about image and what that meant. And we talked about various aspects of one image, how to just be. My girl Tamiko, she always says, just like be you, just like
you.
be
Yeah.
you. And so
Cause
I love that part. And then the second season was all about it's your attitude. I'm like, it's your attitude, girl. Like, don't play with it. It is your so I, you know, I love Tamiko, I really love season 2. And it also has about 9 episodes because we broke attitude down in so many segments and how it has impact in your life. And how if you use some, even if you consider using some of the frameworks that we deployed into the marketplace on our conversations, how it can begin to change your perspective about so many things. So I like to say perspective principles, and we put a little prayer on it too. So go back and watch some of those. But now we in season 3, and it's all about raw, real, absolute wellness. And you know, that whole raw thing came from my girl Tamiko, and she woke up with something one morning and she told me, I'm like, girl, I like that. Do you want to tell me about that, Tamiko?
yes, yes, yes. So what was coming to mind after watching several of our episodes, especially in the episode season 2, because it really is when people hear that word attitude, I've been told I have one, which is yay. And people have opinions. So I'll keep my attitude and they can keep their opinions. But with that kind of statement, right, that comes a little raw, right? It sounds a little raw. So then what came to me is going back a little while, and a friend of mine had said and asked this question about, our elders and the elders with their wisdom. And so who once our elders are gone, because we got parents in the 80s, 90s, some of us even blessed to have parents in their hundreds, okay? But once they're gone, who are the elders, right? And then I felt this like, oh, would that be us? Right? Because for you, for you or you or you that's just joining us, right? You are sitting up here looking at 120 years worth of wisdom, worth of beauty, worth of life, worth of all of that, right? 120.
She ain't say 100. She said 100.
100. That's the difference. Because you get extra years for some of that crap we go through. Okay. You get bonus years, like when you was in school. So anyway, what I came up with, or what came to me, what the spirit brought to me, was this title, Wise Woman Raw Community. And what that meant, or what it means, just hold that thought. We're not going to tell you now because it's coming soon. And you get to be a part of the Green Room Collective. We got a lot of things going on. What has happened in this last 9 to 10 months? We have birthed a friendship that is solid. We have also birthed some other, or some things are birthed, but in the incubator. They came out a little early, So it's like, when you had that 4-pound baby and the doctors be like, we don't know, but So it's 4-pound baby sitting there and it's in the incubator. And let me tell y'all, when this my sister is in Florida. I'm in Ohio, just in case those didn't know. We're in 2 different locations. That's to show you what technology can do now. But we both travel. We both do what we do. But as we move into spring, whoa, there's some cool stuff happening. And what I would also like to say with that, in the Wise Woman Raw, in this season 3, and absolute wellness and all of what's happening now, I'm going to say the reason why we live on YouTube right now, because if the world right now got you shook, got you scared, got you nervous, turn your TV off. Turn your TV off. Okay? Super Bowl over. Turn your TV off.
But that's a whole conversation, I think, because I didn't watch it, but I've been hearing more about the halftime show than even the Super Bowl in and of itself. So
most viewed Super Bowl and halftime show in history.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it 3 times myself.
That part. Well, I
on YouTube, I didn't watch it 3 times myself. I am not gonna tell y'all no story.
Oh man,
when so many people was talking about it.
Well, I'm a hip hop fan.
Talking about?
I'm a hip hop fan going back. I got 61 years. Me and my son been going through back in the day, true hip hop folks. If some of you are watching, back in the day when they used to have a magazine called Elemental, and it was all about underground hip hop. And I subscribed. Well, actually, I got a subscription for my son in his name at 8 years old because I wanted him to be able. He was a reader, but he read words, and I'm like, how can I get him to read, or get him to read things and for composition so he understands what he's reading? So we started with comic books, but he's so wise that he would read the comic books, but he knew it was comic. And I was like, all right, let me get him something that he can read for comprehension and he enjoy it, and then we could talk about it. So I subscribed to this magazine back in the day when magazines were actually a book, called Elemental. And then we would sit up and have these deep conversations about hip hop. And he was 8 years old. But it worked. It helped him with his reading. Okay. So anyway, going to what's happening now and all of the different opinions and just all the media coverage, it's just amazing. But the biggest piece of it for me, and what I'm sensing and what I'm seeing and excited about, is it really does have people talking, but it seems to be pulling young and old, diversity, black, white, all everybody,
the whole yin yang.
Yeah, whether you like it or whether you didn't, you're talking about it. Whether you're young or old, you're talking about it. Whether you're educated in the university or in the streets, you're talking about it. whether you're male, female, or other, with a lot of initials behind you. No disrespect. You're talking about it. Okay. So that's the part to me that I'm like, wow, that's super cool.
Even pastors are chiming in, like they're girl, this halftime had a far reach, like a deep reach. Like I've seen a couple, like couple of my favorite pastors posting about it on social media. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
for them to even chime in, being clergy and theologians and things like that. So I think it's really cool.
Well, what I would say to that one though, because this is one that I talk to my pastor about often, is that, you know, we have to be careful if we want, we were just talking about this. Okay, for me, ministry means marketplace. Okay. And you could have all of these people that are in the temple, in the church, but then what's happening when they get out, when they walk out the door?
Yeah,
Okay. And some of those that might, so that's a whole nother segment. That's a whole nother show.
that is a
But
whole nother.
it's a whole nother show. But it's nice to see that they are somewhat connected to what's
Yeah,
going on in this real world.
of course.
Okay.
Of course, because the real church is really existing outside the walls of the building.
The real church is here.
Right. The real church is like, what are y'all doing in these streets? Well,
Or what have you done in
I know what I'm doing. I'm in these streets. I'm like, Tamiko called me and said, what you doing? Girl, I'm in these streets.
She's in the street. Hey, with that being said, those of you in the Tampa area, shameless plug to my sister who has just launched
Oh,
her new executive luxury transportation company. All right. And so I'm gonna have you do the research. We'll give you the commercial next time or maybe later, but check her out. You want a safe, comfortable, luxurious ride with Earth Angel? Holla at her. She in these streets, y'all. She in these
I
streets.
get you some chips later, girl.
She's in
Um,
these streets.
no potato chips. All
That's
right.
it.
So I'm loving this conversation that we're about to have today. Uh, all, I believe everybody is familiar with it in regards to its context, and what it means for them. So we're talking about the word is fear, but what do you need to believe about fear in order to live a fulfilled life? What do you need to believe about fear in order to live a fulfilled life? It's kind of like a contraindication, like opposite, almost kind of like what do you need to believe of fear? Because usually, if you believe in something, anything about fear, something about fear, you're not living a fulfilled life, right? So
Y'all heard
we would like, what do you need to believe about it? It meaning fear, FEAR, to live a fulfilled life. And so the whole title of the like fear is now the signal. It's not a stop sign.
that part. Say
It's
that
not.
again. Say it
And so
again, please. Say it again.
fear is a signal, not a stop sign.
Boom.
It is a signal and not a stop sign. So oftentimes, and I know there's this framework out there that's been out there forever. It's been out there forever. Like fear, like the most people would say, yeah, that's false evidence appearing real. Well, let me tell you, if you stick around long enough to the end of this conversation, we're going to give you a framework that you can really execute on. Because false evidence appearing real, like that's something you tell yourself and you say, okay, that's not real. But what we're going to do is we're going to give you a framework on how you can engage with the fear in order to live a fulfilled life.
That part.
Like you gonna love fear by the time we done with y'all. Like not like even not like it like, oh, that's like scary fairy. I know it's not real, it's an illusion, right? No, we gonna like get you to jump into it, bathe in it, like wash your arms in it, like smell it, engage with all of that. So I'm excited about this conversation because um I know for me, when years ago, I was always engaging in some kind of fearful situation, everything. Oh my God. And it came from things that people told me about anything. Like, and I believed them. Unconsciously like accepted their template and lived into it. Like, because those people love me, like they must be right. I need to be afraid of that. I need to be afraid who's going to be president. I need to be afraid and concerned whether or not my job is going to lay me off because of who's uh in, like, who's the mayor of the city, like how that's going to impact different agencies within the city. I need to be concerned about that. And what I found out for myself, I really don't. And once I really settled on, and this just came recently, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like I had it all together all the time. So like I told Tamiko in the virtual green room, like I am my first student,
Always.
always my first student. So now if I go through something, I'm using this framework, which we'll share with you later, in order to navigate that territory. And those emotions that came up in the past are redefined as different emotions in this season of my life because I've learned some things over the past 62 years that I can begin to now I have discovered and developed, and I can deploy them into my situation. So those same emotions that set a little bit uneasy for me, now I can use this new framework of fear in order to like really get into it.
Awesome. And it's beautiful how you said that. Like a lot of it is taught. Um, and I feel for myself, that's probably what has made me such a thrill seeker. Cause it's like the thrill of knowing that is making me nervous. I'm scared or think I am, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Right. So, and a lot of when we step into the perceived so-called fear, it usually never happens, whatever that is that we're worried about. And just out of my spiritual teaching, what I do know in life, okay, we both sitting up here, 61, 62. We got 62 coming in June, the whole month of June. The whole month of June is my birthday, y'all. Not one day, the whole month, okay? So anyway, that being said, the other truth is if you perpetuate the fear long enough, it's yours. So whatever you think about, you bring about. Okay? It's that powerful. You're that powerful, right? God knows your heart. Okay? And if we look at written word, it's changed over the years. Okay?
Your heart,
The word.
the word.
The word hasn't changed, but people's perception of it has changed.
Mhm.
Okay?
Good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
then,
good
okay. And so God's word hasn't changed. Man's word has. And man's word on understanding what the quote unquote word is, right? So I could go into that one. But that's why it's so beautiful the way we set this up, where you're changing the word fear because of the synonyms that are being used. So when you hear it or you sense it, it's not something that, like you say, is it a pause or is it a stop? Because there's some things that, yeah, you got to stop, pivot, go in another direction, stop, let it go past. It's not yours. And it's so funny because if you think about it, I think 2 to 4, we are just brilliant. 2 to 4 year olds, because they don't have a lot of fear.
None.
They don't have a lot of fear. And they're gonna tell you how they feel. They gonna speak their truth, right? 2 to 4.
Unfiltered, unfiltered.
Unfiltered. And I think it's very interesting that society has started to call that behavior, because that's when you come into you're starting to come more into your little self. Excuse me. And we've labeled that terrible too.
Ooh, yeah, that's a whole conversation in and of itself. Terrible to
Terrible too. Because that
that.
2-year-old don't have any fear. They climbing walls, they going in the refrigerator, they pulling stuff down, they climbing on the cabinet. I want it, I'm gonna get it. And we call it terrible because we no longer can control their little impulse. They got a whole world, they can move around. Some talk, some don't. The ones that don't talk right away don't think they can't hear you and they don't understand. Right? So, but they don't have a lot of fear. And even if they're going to get in trouble, they don't have a lot of fear. It's like, oh, okay, stop. Nope.
Yeah.
Why do you think our first words are no?
You know, that's pretty interesting. You took it all the way back to childhood talk,
Yes.
right? And so, and I think I had mentioned this before. So a lot of my fear early on was things that people had superimposed on me, right?
Mhm.
And as a result of the superimposition, I those beliefs that I had became so limited. That's why they call them limiting beliefs, right?
I think so.
Right. They became so limited that it induces fear. You're like your limited beliefs induces fear. And as I'm having conversations with people, I see a lot of people every day. Not only y'all know I play pickleball every day, not only on the pickleball court, right? But also in business and what I do and taking people and just to listen to their conversations sometimes. Um, and it goes back to a saying that somebody wrote it. I didn't say it, but I'm gonna repeat it. Uh, your beliefs, your if your beliefs are limited, you whatever belief that you fight for, you get to keep.
That part. That
Somebody said it, like, but and it is so true. So oftentimes we are developing this bias, cognitive bias. What did he call it? Cognitive behavior, like to prove our beliefs are true for us. And so bias confirmation.
mm.
So we want to prove to ourselves instead of asking the real question of why do we believe what we believe. We're afraid to ask the real question because if we get really ask the real question and get a real answer, then that means you have to disconnect from the belief that the people who loved you the most have superimposed on you. That means you're disrespecting them. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
So what I heard you said is our believing that us speaking our truth is a disrespect to them. Is that what you said?
No, no. It's a once we get out of the framework of what they have superimposed on us, now
Mm-hmm.
we have another belief system that frees us out of the limitation. But sometimes we're afraid to be freed because they might feel a certain way. So um it may almost seem like you're disrespecting what they gave you. Like if you get out of their template, they may ask you the question, well, that's not the way we've always done it. Or
Okay, that part, that's what I'm saying. So,
right,
right. So then, okay, I definitely want to speak to that. Will we? Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, like that right there. Okay, that's the beauty, the blessing, the maturity, and living life and growing and healing is you learn that when you speak your authentic truth, it is not a disrespect of another, but it is a healthy boundary and a respect of yourself. And if
Mm,
someone takes that as a disrespect because you are branching off into this thing called life and doing things different, yay, it's okay. If they, the family, mama, daddy, whoever, never did it this way. Okay, but you're going to. And guess what? That person that happens to see, or you've shared with them that you're doing something different. First rule of thumb, don't share with people that can't hear you.
Mm.
Okay? Because they will not only cause a fear factor, but they'll get in the way. That's a distraction. Okay. Secondly, okay, don't allow people that are stuck in cemented ways, right, to be able to see you or understand why you want to climb the elevator or elevate to a higher level. They comfortable in their mess, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love the fact that I don't went from, I don't know, it was black sheep. I don't know what color I am now, but I ain't never been a sheep because I only got one person or one being that I follow, and that's God and Christ. These
Mm.
rest of these folks out here impersonators.
Yeah.
They impersonators. That's my mom. She's still trying to figure out what
Yeah.
happened to her.
Yeah.
So that part. But I'm just saying, don't ah, it's so interesting to me. I had yeah. I'm going because I had a person that I'm coaching, a dear friend, and a situation came up with her. Gut instinct, everything showed up. Everything showed up. We just had a beautiful session this weekend, and it came up that this might come up. So when the test came, she folded. She folded.
You know, and you can probably speak to this, but what I've experienced is that mhm, that folding process is so easy because it gets you back in an area that you're so familiar with, and you rather experience the familiarity of hurt than to experience an unfamiliarity of hurt or newness or uncertainty.
And a
Because
lot.
you're gonna hurt either way.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't
Okay.
think you will hurt either way. I think if you go with what you really want and what it is you say you're moving towards, you'll get through that fear, right? And realize that guess what? I feel freer now. I don't feel hurt. We keep getting presented with the test until we pass it.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
But
So
in
if
the passing of this test, would you say there's like inherent struggles, but on a whole nother level
no,
that what? No, there's
you
not.
can
Okay.
notice there's struggles if you don't. You know what? It's like the person, and we've said this before. It's like the person that sits in the stank house.
You
Okay,
say
funky,
stank out.
nasty stank, and won't step in the shower because I don't know if that water, I don't know if it's gonna burn me. I don't know. But if you just stepping in the water, just stepping in the water, letting the water rush down over you, just the water hitting stank will clear some things. So I don't think we always have to go into the situation thinking that that situation may be worse, but we'll learn something from it. No, not all the time.
Okay.
Sometimes you've done the work and it's time to step out of the shit. Excuse me. Step
Okay.
out. Step out. Step out. And so in this situation, it's like you recognize that this person is not telling you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And when you see they're not telling you the truth, it comes out. And then they ask you to back them in their nonsense and you fold. I was like, wow.
Mm. Because your behavior, your mouth might say one thing, but one thing your behavior won't lie.
At all. So when that situation and we're doing the work and you praying and asking for Holy Spirit to show you, and it showed you like blinking, 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 blinking. You even felt it, even said, you mouthed, there it is.
Mm.
I said, I'm going to put myself on mute.
Huh. You
And I
know, that's interesting. Like we pray and we ask for some stuff, but when it shows up, like y'all be tripping.
and but that's why I said to what you said when you were like, but that might be no, no, no. The test had been learned. That was an opportunity. I'm not a gamer, but I know people that play video games, and you going through all of this and this, that, and the other, and then there comes this point where if you hit that right thing, go down that path and do the shoot, the next thing you know, bling, you go to a whole nother level. That's why you got grown men that'll sit up for hours and hours and hours playing video games. Okay. And paying a lot for them. They're not cheap. Did you know that these taco games? Anyway, I regressed. Point being, sometimes when you've already passed all the levels and it shows up that last time, and you've done the coaching, you've done you know what it is, and there it is. The opportunity go and you fold.
Yeah.
Because the person is in a leadership position.
Yeah.
My question is then, who the hell you gonna follow?
Yeah. That's true.
That part. So that's why I did the strong no, like, no, I don't believe that, because that still is that stinking thinking of every situation has to be a hard situation or a negative situation in order for us to, at this point in the game, maybe if you 19, 20, 21, maybe the next few.
I don't, hard and negative situation don't bother me anymore. I've done the work, right? Actually, speaking of prayer, I stay prayed up. Like, to me, I don't even think I told you this. I have been memorizing Psalms 91. And one of my favorite things that I've been memorizing uh, this past week probably helped me with my situation. Y'all, we all have situations, right? Which helped me with my situation yesterday. And it's that part, like, I would not be afraid of the terror by night, nor the arrows that fly by the day, nor the pestilence in the shadow of the darkness, nor the plagues that destroys at midday. I kept repeating that over and over and over again. Like when I repeat that in my mind, like constantly, like I feel a certain kind of way. Like I'm like, bring it on. I'm like David and Goliath. Like there is nothing that can come into my world that I cannot overtake. And like afraid of who? Because God says, I will curse those who curse you, and I will bless those who bless you. Like, come on, let's go. And so I've been memorizing that psalm. Now, I've never done that before, but something was just telling me like, Marnita, you need this part because it talks about like when you are in a space of like, what do you need to believe about fear? You have a high place that you reside in and dwell in and use it as refuge, as a refuge and a fortress, and so like when you have your mind there, like you need to believe that about yourself. And then Tamika, you said something earlier in this conversation is that we were talking about image, I believe it or not. You say people don't really know who they are. Like once you know who you are based on who you are, like when you really begin to believe that part, it's a totally different life.
When you know it, when you really have it in your core and you know it. And my thing is the blessing that I feel with where I'm at now, because there's been quite a few wars in this lifetime. Like the gospel verse say, I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through.
Right.
But anybody that knows anything that has had to deal with skin, one thing about skin, when skin gets exfoliated, scarred, whatever the case may be, especially exfoliated real deep, it's just like when women do facelifts or exfoliation with the laser or whatever, that layer that gets burnt off, when that new layer comes on, it looks baby smooth. So imagine that. And I'm sitting up here at 61.
Yeah.
Been exfoliated a little bit. All right. So with that being said, I'm not looking for the fight. I'm a general. Generals don't fight. They give directions. They give
Yeah.
instructions. So I don't necessarily walk around waiting on the fear or waiting on the fight, because I will win, because I know who my general is. But that's the difference in where I am in my life now. Because before, I used to be prepared for it. I stepped out the door waiting for it.
Mm.
No,
It's
no,
a whole nother day when you know you win.
not
Like,
no more. Right. I'm in the win season. I am in the soft season. When so often, and not to disrespect anybody else, but I only can speak to what I am. But as minorities, so often, and if we've experienced trauma and drama, right? That we have this a tendency to be overachievers because we're trying to rise above the mess, right? And I got so literal with it when they say rise above the trauma and drama. That's why I got in theater. Okay. So think about that. So when I was dealing with drama, I was getting paid. So if I was not in that theater and I'm dealing with, and some stuff is around me, imagine being in entertainment. So theater and television. And I worked in the salon industry. That's drama all over the daggone place.
it is. It is.
Okay. You got the beauty industry, which is a cash flow business. I'm gonna just leave that right there. Y'all figure that one out. And then then working in theater, then working in film. So that wasn't enough. So then I started actually working in television. And guess what? All of them were very similar. All of them. I was dealing with bad reality TV before bad reality TV was a thing.
But the thing,
Okay. And that's why
yeah,
I don't even own a television, haven't in over 12 years. Because I'm like, I've had enough.
yeah,
So that's why I say now I'm just in a different framework in that life experiences. It's like it's a no for me, on a lot of certain things. And it's like, yes, and there's an element of that truly is a part of life. Absolutely. I'm just not there anymore. Thank God. Right. And I'm excited about our platform because I get to share, or it's a reminder even to myself every time we do this, that there is some beauty, there is some essence there. It brings about a true spirit of love. And where there's love, there's no fear. That's my word for this year, y'all. Everybody does their New Year's resolutions. I ain't want to go to a whole
year.
resolution. I just broke it down to a word. And my word this year is love.
Yeah.
The love as a noun and love as a verb or adjective. And when I truly sit in that essence of love, there's no fear.
Yeah.
There's no fear. The ultimate bachelorette. That's a whole nother show too.
Maybe we can have that conversation, right?
Yeah, that's a sometime. Yeah, we'll get into that one, But that's a beautiful thing. And I love the framework that you came up with for, the word fear.
So we're gonna use fear against fear.
That's it.
But our fear, this thing for the framework for our fear, let me tell you why I love it. Because each letter in the framework is executable. And if you miss it, then you miss it. Because we can't do the work for you.
That
So
part.
you think they ready for it, Tamiko?
I think so.
Do you think they ready for it right
I
now?
think they are ready. They got their pass. They
Or
got
should we
their,
save it till next week? Do you really think they ready for it?
I think they're ready because they've been ready. They've been waiting for season 3, and we've been on sabbatical having a good time. So I think they.
So if y'all ready for it, I'll go back and check the comments. But if y'all ready for it, can you put ready in the comment section? I'm ready. I'm ready. Just put ready. Put some fire in the chat because we're about to like give you something that is really powerful. So you get an opportunity to use it to discover some stuff about yourself, develop some stuff in yourself, and deploy it for in the marketplace for yourself. Y'all ready? Okay, I think they ready to me go, right?
I think they're ready. I think they're ready.
So here's the framework, blueprint, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna use fear. The F is fortitude, 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 having the ability to have the courage to do it anyway in the face of adversity. Fortitude. Fortitude, y'all. And the next one is one of my favorites. Oh my God, y'all have no idea how the next one, I haven't even had to position myself for this one. The next one is like one of my favorites. And the E is for enthusiasm. And having the ability to have enthusiasm in everything, like in who you are. Oh my God, that's a big one. And everything that you do will allow you to produce anything that you want. Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
The A is aptitude. Ascending to an aptitude so you can develop a skills so you can become masterful. I didn't develop so you can become masterful at a skill set because a skill set like Tamiko and I we have skill sets now, like we have skill set that make things work. Having a skill set allows you to separate yourself from everybody else because it's a part of your gift. Like it's what you like naturally inherent in you to develop a masterful skill set around something that can make a difference. And then the last letter in the framework is R, and that's all about resolution.
Resolution.
Get it done. Resolve, resolution. So Tamiko, I like this one so much. See, and so now, like, hopefully our audiences can see, like, it's um, it's not like your traditional meaning of fear, false evidence appearing real. That's just a saying. We have just given you something that you can act on every point in the framework. Fortitude, enthusiasm, aptitude, and resolve or resolution. Okay. And so as I was like ruminating over that over the past week, I came up with this saying, this mantra that I put to the framework that I started repeating to myself in the midst of my own being, in the midst of my own circumstances, in the midst of my own stuff. And that is, do you think they want to hear this one?
I think they want to hear. Come on. I
So
think
this one is
they deserve it. They stayed on this right on. They deserve to hear it right now. Y'all. Mm-hmm.
Hey, so this one like is having the ability to have the fortitude to behave enthusiastically, to cultivate an aptitude for a skill set in which you can become masterful at in order to bring resolution to anything that you touch. I've been saying that in my head the entire week. Having the ability to develop the fortitude, to behave enthusiastically, to cultivate the aptitude to master a skill set that you can apply to anything for a resolution. Anything. I didn't say some things. I said anything. So that's how it has become executable for me because I put it in this kind of like active, like sentence is moving, is living. It's not false evidence appearing real. Let me stay away from that. No, it's having the fortitude to behave enthusiastically in order to cultivate an aptitude to master a skill set that I can apply to anything for resolution.
Y'all hear that? And if I had to simplify what my sister just said, what you think about, you bring about. And what you bring about, you be about. Now, Dr. Marnita gave y'all the framework in a very articulate, professional, okay, sentence. And we broke it down even simpler. So there's no reason to fear unless you're going to fear it in a way. Could you give me that sentence one more time, my sister?
The ability to have the fortitude in order to behave enthusiastically, in order to cultivate the aptitude to master a skill set that you can apply to anything to bring resolution.
Boom. Because I also know from what I've heard that the new skill set is creating a strategy.
Yes.
So, with what you just said, with the anonym, you also gave a sentence that is a strategy that one can apply daily.
Daily.
Daily. So, part of the strategy is remembering the framework and then remembering the sentence and then applying it. Because you can remember all day long. You can know all day long. You can see all day long. But until you apply it,
Now, if I can remember the whole chapter of Psalms 91, y'all can remember one sentence. Don't play with it. 1,000 may fall at my side and 10,000 at my right side, but none of it's gonna come near me.
There you
Don't
go.
play with me today.
Or unless you play a pickleball.
Unless you play a pickleball. So this has been so I hope like if this has helped you, Tamika, what I want them to do, like I want y'all to share it with because it helps our analytics too. And especially that we're going live. So click like subscribe for one. Now that we're going live, you get an alert when our lives are coming up. And two, share, hit the share button, copy the link and send it on like maybe your social media or send it to someone personal that you think could benefit. And they're always talking about being fearful or not living a life of fulfillment. This would be a great conversation for them to hear.
Yes, and I will piggyback that. And I'm going to ask you guys, you could do it to your social media, but I would rather you send it personally to a friend of yours or a family member. Send the link right to them where all they got to do, boom, just touch it. Okay. Because in the interesting world that we live in, social media is being really interesting and different platforms will move stuff out the way because they want you to be. I just learned that, y'all, because I just took class and podcasting. But anyway, but I will challenge our listeners, okay, our beloveds out here. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. You know who I'm talking to because you know I send it personally to you. Oh, send it to a friend. You'll be
I was
glad
about
to
to
see.
say, Tamika, you the queen of sin.
I am. I am. Because my thing is, I value if you have a a connect where you have the opportunity to have me up close and personal. If you send me something, I'm gonna check it out. Okay. And the same here. I know people's time is valuable, right? So if you send me something, I'm going to check it out. So that's what I would say. You send it to that person or do like I've heard some people are doing. They're also watching it in a group. I am so excited about that.
Oh, that's so cool. You didn't tell
Yeah.
me that.
So, yeah. And so, Marnita and I are both coaches, shameless plug. And so if you want to do this and you might want to have the host or the co-host at your group, we need to talk about that because we will actually show up with an invoice. But yeah, that's possible.
I love her. I love her.
All
Will you say
right.
that part again?
Okay, we will possibly show up. We can talk about it. It's negotiable for an invoice. Yes. Yep.
Strong hyphen.
Yes, invoice. Yes. And it's an investment. It's an investment in you, it's an investment in your time, and it's an investment in your acceleration and growth.
Yeah.
Spiritually, professional, personal, all of the things. And we're fun. We have a lot of fun. I'm fun. We're not gonna do nothing that's not gonna be fun. And yeah, that part.
And we might even if you have a facility, a pickleball court, we can take a break and play pickleball.
We can play some pickleball.
I'll bring the rackets, don't worry.
And I'll have us stretch it afterwards. So you stay,
Right.
I heard something the other day and it said, motion is lotion.
Yeah, it is.
How about that?
It is. It
Motion
is.
is lotion. So that part.
So this has been so good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We are so excited and looking forward to other episodes as we move forward in our live conversations for Convos for Your Calling. I am Dr. Marnita, your host of Convos for Your Calling. And then we have
I am XTamilko Ruby J, your co-host, and we welcome you and we thank you for your time. You guys have an amazing week. And remember, turn your TV off. Bye.